Today we are going to talk about biological molecules. But what is biology? Biology is the science which covers a wide field of information related to animals, plants, movement of electrons into photosynthesis, movement of electrons during the respiration process, etc. So, biology is the science which studies the relation between all living organisms and the environment where they live too. First of all, we are going to talk about the fundamental building blocks of living organisms, which are the basic molecules, um, which are used to construct the living organisms, or which are the main molecules which are found in their body structure. Carbohydrates, which represents the substrate for the cellular respiration, from which cells um, produce energy for its function. They have structural functions, such as, for example, monosaccharides, or recognition function, which is closely related with those molecules which are made up of proteins, and the glycosidic parts, as a result, are named glycoproteins, or those molecules which are made up of glycosidic part and the lipidic part, which are named as glycolipids. The second type of molecules are lipids, which represents the major component of the plasma membrane, and some type of hormones, such as testosterone, estrogen, are made up of lipids also, and they also act as respiratory substrate too. The third type of molecules are proteins, which have many different roles, but mainly they serve as enzymes. They have other roles too, or functions, such as for protection, antibodies, or for transportation, the example of hemoglobin, which transports oxygen and carbon dioxide, while antibodies are produced from B lymphocytes, and those antibodies are spread through the blood, and they are going to fight the infection into different regions of our body in the case of injuries, or in the case of infections from bacteria, viruses, and so on. And proteins can serve also as messengers in the example of hormones, because hormones represent the primary messengers, which are biochemical molecules, and some hormones are proteins too, even though some of them are lipids. The fourth type of molecules are nucleic acids, and we have two types of nucleic acids: DNA, which contains the genetic material and determines the protein structure, while ribonucleic acids, or RNA, is important during the protein synthesis. But in order to understand a better, or let's say for better understanding of the structure of those molecules, we have firstly to learn which are the main chemical bonds that those chemical molecules have in their structure. How are monomers, or their basic units, linked together into macromolecules or polymers? We have two main types of chemical bonds, such as covalent bonds and or covalent bonding and ionic bonding. Covalent bonding are formed between atoms which are able to share a pair of electrons in their outer shell, while ionic bondings are formed between ions with the opposite side, which attract one another. Now, for the first type of the chemical bond, we can say that the outer shell of atoms is sealed and a more stable compound is formed, which is the molecule. While into the second example, we are talking about an electrostatic attraction between oppositely charged ions. Now let's go on with the second part of the bonding and the formation of molecules. We have two examples. One is for a pure covalent bond, which is formed between two atoms of the same chemical element, which is fluorine. As we know, fluorine is placed on the 7 group A, It contains 7 electrons in its outer shell, and both fluorine atoms are going to share together a common pair of electrons in order to complete the octet. This type of chemical bond is pure chemical bond because it's made up of the molecule is made up of the same atoms, so the atoms of the same element, and the electronegativity difference equals to 0. While into the second example we have the molecule of water, and here electron pairs are sharing between oxygen and hydrogen. Hydrogen is placed on the first group A and oxygen in the second group A. This is why oxygen needs 2 atoms of hydrogen in order to complete the octet, because with only one hydrogen, the oxygen would have only 7 electrons in its outer shell. While the other figure is about the ionic bonds, which are formed between ions with different charge. One ion is positively charged and the second one is negatively charged. In this case, the electrons jump from the electropositive element to the electronegative one. And we have the example of sodium, which is placed on the first group A, and it has only one electron in its north south valence shell. And also the chlorine, which is placed in the 7 group A. It has 7 electrons, so it needs only one electron in order to complete the octet. Another type of chemical bonds are also hydrogen bonds, which are formed between hydrogen and another electronegative element, very electronegative elements such as oxygen, fluorine, or nitrogen. In this picture you see that we have partially positive charge and a partially negative charge. And those hydrogen bonds, even though those are weaker comparing with previous chemical bonds that we have mentioned, still together they form strong interactions at high importance because they are also found into groups of proteins such as amino groups and carboxylic groups, or they are found into the cellular structure, and you know that the cellular structure is able to be resistant against high tensile forces. This is as a result of the presence of the hydrogen bonds. In this guide, we're going to talk about the formation of macromolecules. How are macromolecules formed? We said that the macromolecules are formed from monomers, and monomers are small molecules which are able to be linked together by chemical bonds in order to form polymers or macromolecules, and this process is called polymerization. During the polymerization process of the proteins, for example, the first amino acid is going to give off the OH group of the carboxylic group, and the second one is going to give the hydrogen atom of the amino group. At the end is going to be formed a dipeptide, which is made up of 2 amino acids, so the first and the second one, and they're going to be connected with a peptide bond, and one water molecule is going to be formed. But still those peptides can form chemical bonds with other amino acids, and at the end is going to be formed a polypeptide chain or a polymer. This slide shows the condensation and the hydrolysis reaction. What is the condensation process? Okay, so the condensation process is related with the formation of polymers from monomers, which are able to produce at the end of the chemical reaction the polymer and the water too. As the first example, we have the formation of a polymer which is made up of 3 monosaccharides, and 2 water molecules are removed. So 2 molecules combined. While into the second example, we have the hydrolysis process. Hydro means water, lysis means to destroy. So, if this polymer is going to react with water, then the water is going to break down the chemical bonds, which are in this case the glycosidic bond formed between sugar units, and again monomers are going to be formed, okay? So the monomers of glucose are going to be formed again. So we can say that hydrolysis is the reverse process of the condensation. We're going to give also the definition of the metabolism. Why? Because all those biochemical molecules that we have mentioned till now are important for the metabolic pathways, which might be catabolic pathways or anabolic pathways. So, metabolism represents the overall biochemical processes that occur within a living organism in order to maintain life. In this slide, we're going to take some concepts of chemistry too, because this chapter connects chemistry and biology. What is mole? Mole represents the System International Unit for measuring the amount of substance and is abbreviated to mole. Actually, it is also shown by the Avogadro number, 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23. And with mole are related many other formulas, which is, for example, the molarity. And what is the molar solution? Molarity shows the ratio between the mole number of solute dissolved for each liter of the solution. And the formula is molar concentration equals to mole number over volume. And what is atom? Atom is the smallest constituent unit of ordinary matter that constitutes a chemical element, or is the smallest unit which still keeps the properties of the matter. And how is the atom made up? It's made up of the nucleus, which contains the protons, and it is represented by the atomic number. And we also have the atomic mass number, which is equal to the sum of protons and neutrons. So you see in the picture that in the figure that we have some pluses which show the proton charge, and we have some small circles colored in red which show the neutrons, and this center is surrounded by orbitals, and in those orbitals are placed electrons. So electrons move through the orbitals, and electrons are negatively charged. The proton number is used also to identify the number of electrons too, because the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons.